Sean Atkins, senior advisor at Evolution Media. He's the former president of MTV. And Ed Lee, New York Times corporate media reporter and a CNBC contributor. It's good to see you both. Ed, I'll go to you first. If you want to take a stab at the issue that Morgan and Julia were just talking about, whether you think this hybrid model from Warner Brothers is going to be permanent and become the norm industries wide.
I think Jason Kilar, the guy who heads up Warner Media, who came up with this hybrid model, I think he is using next year as a big experiment just to see how much he can goose HBO Max subs once he puts, Wonder Woman 1984 on streaming, again, for no extra cost, right? So that's the difference between what they're doing on streaming versus, say, what Disney did with Mulan, where you're already paying for Disney Plus. You had to pay an extra $30 to watch it within the first month. Otherwise, you had to wait to sort of see it. So, I think it's a very sort of consumer-forward, consumer-friendly plan. If 2021 slate sort of really sort of draws out those customers for HBO Max and they stick, he might actually change his mind later on down the line, right? So he's actually doing something different from what the other guys are doing. Universal, Disney, everyone, they're trying to preserve that windowing system, right? Where there's theatrical, there's rental and download. And then when they get to the pay one window, when they're licensing it to cable, like whether it's HBO or Showtime or others, that's where they really make their profit. What Warner is doing is just the reverse. They're doing the pay one window first. So, and again, they really need to goose their HBO Max subs. That's a big part of their game. If it works, I think that might actually stick.
Yeah. Sean, the pandemic's changed so much about how we live and how industries operate. Is this going to be permanent? Are these two industries, because it is not an industry, it's an industries issue, what Warner Brothers has initiated here, does it stick and does it spread?
Look, I think it sticks and spreads. I think the one thing that Jason is very good at is understanding what consumer behavior is and putting consumers first. And no matter what trend you look at in terms of consumer behavior, they're very clearly expressing on a global basis that they want control of their entertainment. They want it in their windows at the most cost-efficient way possible. Now, that doesn't mean that the theatrical window is gone forever, but it does mean that consumers are going to consider it as one of the possibilities for their consumption. Like I tell people all the time, it's like, I can have a great music experience listening to my favorite album at my house, but I also sometimes want to go to a concert and see it. And I think that same variability is going to be happening in that kind of audiovisual mechanism where, hey, it turns out as a father with 4 kids, it's a better experience for me as a consumer to watch a Pixar film in my living room than it is to go drop $150 to go see it at a theater. But at the same time, I definitely want to go see Avatar on an IMAX screen when it comes out in 2022. So I think that's just the truth of the behavior. And what you're seeing is all these major players trying to protect their economic window while trying to pivot into the truth of the consumer behavior.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.